What's up everybody? Today I am back with another curl chat video, and this video is going to be all about my hair color. Out of all the questions that I get, the majority of them have to do with my hair color. So I'm going to answer a few Instagram questions, talk about my routine a little bit. First, let's talk about this hair color. I had this hair color done back in the end of April, beginning of May, and as you can see, my ends are a purple ombre. And when I first had it done, it didn't turn out exactly the way that I wanted it to, but it just so happens that the more I wash my hair, the brighter the color gets. So it's turning into a more violet magenta type purple that I initially wanted. And I had my hair professionally dyed, which I do with every, drastic hair color change. So I highly recommend, if you're doing something drastic, meaning you are especially lightening your hair more than 2 or 3 levels, and it may require using bleach or some kind of lightener, then I highly recommend that you go see a professional to have your hair colored. Oh, and this purple color is Sparks Permanent Color and Purple Passion, and yes, my hair had to be bleached in order to get this current color because I was coming from jet black to purple. So on to the Instagram questions. The first one is, do you really have to lift or strip your hair in order to add color? This is what I've heard, but afraid to do so. I want color, but afraid to strip, being that my hair is already dry. So no, you don't always have to lift or strip your hair in order to add color, unless your hair is very dark, okay? If your hair isn't too dark, meaning like a jet black or very, very dark brown, you may be able to tint your hair a little bit using semi-permanent dyes or rinses like Manic Panic or the Jerome Russell semi-permanent color. You may be able to use some of those, but honestly, the color may not show up as well. For this person in particular, I would say if your hair is already dry, do not, and I repeat, do not color your hair. Make sure before you do all the extra stuff like coloring your hair or whatever it is that you want to do, make sure your hair is healthy first, because if your hair is dry before you color it, it's going to be drier and less manageable after you color it. So make sure your hair is healthy and moisturized before you do anything else to it. Make sure you get your regimen down before adding in any of the extras. One person asked, can I do this color myself? You can if you want to, but like I said, if you're going to have to bleach your hair or lighten it in any way, I highly recommend having a professional do it. Color oftentimes causes hair to be dry. How do you keep your hair moisturized with color? I deep condition my hair religiously every single week. Every single week I deep condition my hair. There's just nothing else to it. There have been a few times that I can count on one hand.
Mommy, you go potty.
You go potty. There have only been a few times where I've gone maybe 2 weeks without washing my hair, but even in those cases, I still deep condition my hair. So if water is going on my hair, then I am deep conditioning it. Unless, of course, I just so happen to wash my hair more than once a week, but every week, every 7 days, I deep condition my hair. That's it. Let's see. The next question is, how can I retain my curls after coloring my hair? I realize that they aren't as defined as my hair that isn't colored. So one thing that has helped me out a lot with keeping my curls after coloring is regular use of protein treatments. And I don't mean like heavy duty protein treatments, but in particular, I use the Aphogee 2-minute Keratin Reconstructor on my hair about every other week. And I started doing this, number one, because I was noticing breakage. A little bit around this time last year, I started noticing that my hair was breaking, and I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I was deep conditioning every week. I was doing some low manipulation hairstyles, and my hair was breaking off. So I started to use the Aphogee 2-minute Keratin Reconstructor, which really helped. And then I noticed after using that, it helped stop the breakage, but then it also just allowed my curls to pop just even more. Next question. So why do people say when we colored our hair, it's not considered natural anymore? Well, technically, the term natural, by definition, basically just means anything that occurs in nature that's not man-made. And so if you color your hair, obviously it's man-made. It's not something that occurs, naturally in the earth. So therefore, you're putting a man-made chemical into your hair, and your hair isn't, by definition, natural anymore. And to be completely honest with you, I could care less if you think my hair is natural or not. I say it is, and my opinion of my own self and my own hair is what matters. And I can guarantee that I still have curls, and I can also guarantee that the same hair products you use also work on me. So, all right, what are good products to use for color treated hair? Like I said, the Aphogee Keratin 2-minute Reconstructor is awesome sauce. This is some good stuff. And then also also made by Aphogee, the Curlific texture treatment is also a great product to use for your hair. And then basically, I'm not gonna say anything that says it's safe for color treated hair, but a lot of times Shea Moisture products will say on the bottle if it's safe for color treated hair. And the Jamaican Black Castor Oil line is great for that, as is the Superfruit Complex 10-in-1 Renewal system is also good for color as well. So that's something else to keep in mind. And then also just in general, especially if you shampoo your hair, try to avoid using sulfates. Very, very important, especially if you have a color like purple or red or blue or green or whatever, or if you have like jet black hair, if you dyed it jet black and you want to stay that way, it's really important to avoid sulfates, because sulfates are going to strip your hair color. Now, if you want to get rid of your hair color faster, then sulfates is one way to get rid of it faster, but you don't want to do that. Anything like a safe, organic, natural hair color. The only, I guess, safer alternatives to hair coloring would be henna, and it will add a tint to your hair color. It will turn your hair red. There are also some other ones like indigo. I'm not sure what the exact plant it's called, but I just know they call it indigo, that also will turn your hair black if you put it on. I've done henna a couple of times before I permanently dyed my hair, and henna is cool. It won't really show up if your hair is super dark. It did turn my hair like a little tint of red, and I had to use it a few times before I got a chance to notice the color. Henna is a pain in the butt though. I mean, unless you have 8 hours to devote of having the henna paste on your hair, it's kind of a pain. That's something to look into. Curly Nikki is very big into henna, and something called a henna gloss, where you basically mix the henna paste with conditioner. One other thing about henna though is it also can loosen your curl pattern as well, so just keep that in mind. And the next question is, have you noticed texture changes? When I look back at pictures and when my hair was shorter, I don't really notice that much in my curl pattern. Not much. So if anything, it may be loosened up a little bit. And my problem areas that I have, like in the front of my hair, in this area, those were problem areas before I ever colored anyway. So I'm gonna say I have noticed texture changes, but only just a little bit. Does the color bleed when washing? Yes, it does bleed. I made the mistake one time of using a shampoo and not reading the label on it. And I put the shampoo on my hair, and immediately I noticed a bunch of purple foam soap suds in my hands. And I looked at the label, and yes, that shampoo had sulfate in it. So I immediately stopped using that one. Most of my products that I use, like for instance, I am a religious user of the As I Am coconut co-wash. I use that almost every single week, and that one doesn't fade my color. I don't see too much bleeding or fading in the shower when I use that. And that's pretty much about it. So next question, how much more TLC does your hair need? I'm not gonna say not that much more. I kind of had to figure out a new routine because some of the products that I used prior to coloring didn't work too well for me after coloring. And then, like I said before, I also had to add in some protein treatments to help strengthen my hair to stop the breakage and the shedding. But in terms of deep conditioning, I did that every week before I ever even colored my hair, which I think really contributed to the health of my hair. So when I did finally color my hair, my regimen didn't really change that much, besides having to switch a few products out because I was already deep conditioning anyway. And I was already doing low manipulation styles and doing the lock method. So it did not change much more after that. Are there any products that strip your color? And like I said before, sulfates can strip your color. So just try to avoid those as much as possible. And the last question is asking me, what color is this? And that is a red color that I had last year. I dyed my hair about 3 different reds last year. And when I say I dyed it, I don't mean I personally did. What I mean is someone else did it for me. And I went to someone different every single time. So the reds, it wasn't the same red every single time. And so I'm just gonna read to you. I don't exactly remember the hair color, but I wrote something on Instagram about half a year ago, I guess. The very first time I colored my hair red, it was with Joico Very Violet and Red Mahogany mixed together. That was professionally done. And then I attempted to touch up my roots with the box color, but it didn't really take. And then I went to a hairstylist in August to recolor my hair red. I have no idea what color she used then. And then this past January, I used the Shea Moisture color system in dark auburn. So like I said, that red color is just a variation of different reds that was, I guess, unique to me. It's not really, it's not as one specific color that you can use. So yeah, that answers that question. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.